What's up, everybody? It's Jessica with PT for Everyone, and today we're going to talk more about gait belts. So I have a short on my channel where I talk a little bit about gait belts, but I wanted to make a longer video on them as well. So again, this is what we call a gait belt, G-A-I-T, for like ambulation, moving, that kind of thing, okay? These come in super handy, especially for healthcare workers, people like myself, physical therapists, occupational therapists, things like that. When we have to try to help somebody get up, when we walk them around, things like that, this gives us a handhold so that we're not grabbing arms or shoulders or trying to hold on to pants or anything like that. Or if we're trying to help transfer or move somebody, again, we're not grabbing underarms and shoulders. We're not grabbing legs or, just random body parts. This gives you that extra security, that extra stability to help whoever that you're with. I personally, in my line of work, I do home health. I use these right here. One, because I can get them on Amazon for like $8. They're really inexpensive. Two, because of the latch here. It just snaps together. It's secure. When you get ready to take it off, you unsnap it. It's really simple. It's really easy to use. I spray these down and wipe them down in between my patients with the Sandy wipes and Clorox wipes and stuff like that in order to keep them clean. I keep usually 2 or 3 of these, so I'm not having to, while this one dries, I can use another one if I need to. But these are perfect for personal use. If you work in a hospital, you may have to get one that's like more of a kind of a slick, non-porous kind of a fabric here, just so you can prove in that hospital setting for whenever like accreditation people come through that you're able to keep it clean. Again, in my situation, I have multiple, so while this one's drying, I can use another one. That's how I'm able to prove that I keep it clean, etc. But for personal use, these are perfect because again, they're super easy. A lot of the ones that you may get at like a medical store have those metal clasps that you actually have to weave the belt through, and then it grips onto the metal claws when it kind of pulls. But those are a little bit tricky to use, trial and error. Sometimes they can come like undone when you go to give a little pressure on this if you don't use those exactly right. So again, these are perfect because of the simplicity. First trick I want to tell you about a gait belt is where to put it. So when you are placing a gait belt on either yourself, if you're trying to help somebody, go ahead and put it on, or if you're placing it on someone else, you want to place it at the lower kind of hip level, kind of lower waist, kind of low abdominal area, but right around the hips. And you really want to get it snug, okay? Especially if you put this on while whoever is sitting down, okay? When you sit down, your weight is distributed around your middle a little differently than it is when you stand up. So if you put this on someone while they're sitting, you really want to cinch it pretty good and pretty tight. They may even kind of like that's uncomfortable. But I promise you, if you don't, when you go to help get them up, it's not going to be snug, it's not going to be tight, and it's going to move on you, okay? But we want to put this around this kind of hip area, lower waist, abdominal area. One, because especially if it's somebody that's had any type of surgery up here, you don't want this up here pressing on anything where they've had a surgery or any type of, event or anything like that. Also, right down here is kind of the center of your body, right? It's the center of that body mass. So if I'm trying to direct or help somebody, if say I'm walking next to them and they stumble, I want to be able to grab them or have a hold of them at a good base, at a good center of their stability. If I try to grab an arm, or if this is way up here, and I try to hold on to them or like direct them, or keep them from stumbling, and I'm grabbing way up here, I'm not going to be able to really direct their whole body, right? If I pull from up here, I'm going to pull at the top part and their legs are going to still be over here. However, if I've got it down here around the waist, if they go to stumble or kind of lose their path as they're walking, whatever, I'm able to grab and kind of redirect and pull them here. And I'm pulling, like I said, center of body mass. I'm able to kind of get the whole body exactly where I want it. Also, if you're using this to help get somebody up, like get them up from a chair, get them up out of the bed, things like that, you want to pull up from, again, center of the body mass. You want to be able to pull and use the center of the body as your leverage. If you've ever tried to pull somebody up by just using their arms or just using their shoulders, it's really, really difficult. If I've got here, I'm able to grab around, like I said, center body mass or the behind, because a lot of times this is the heaviest area of individuals, and I'm able to get a lot more leverage. I'm able to get a lot more pull. I'm able to help more than trying to grab from up here. So making sure that this gait belt stays around the hip area, the lower abdominal area is going to be your best bet. And again, we want this to be pretty snug because when we go to pull on it, we don't want it to slide up. We don't want it to slide up here. We don't want it to get under the underarms and all of those kind of things. So make sure that it's pretty snug. I don't have anybody here with me today while I'm making this video, but I want to be able to show you a few ways that you can use a gait belt to kind of, like I said, hold on to somebody while you're walking or help them get up out of a chair. So I'm going to be using Mr. Cow here to kind of show you how I would do that. So use a little bit of your imagination. Like I said, I don't have anybody here with me while I'm making this video, and I just wanted to go ahead and make it. So a little bit of imagination here, but also Mr. Cow can kind of show us what we want to do. So as you can see, I've got his gait belt on kind of at that lower abdominal, kind of lower hip level here. So if I'm going to be walking with someone and I want them to have a gait belt on because I know their balance is a little off, I know maybe we're going outside and the ground's unlevel and I know they get a little bit unsteady on unlevel ground, things like that. I just want to have a handhold on them while we're walking, while we're getting around, while we're doing stuff. So I go ahead and I put their gait belt on. Now, I am right-handed. I'm right-handed. The right side is my dominant side. So a lot of times if I'm going to be walking with somebody, I will kind of walk to where my right arm is able to grab a hold of their gait belt. So how I like to hold a gait belt when I'm walking with someone is, if you can see, I like to put my hands and my fingers under here like this, because this allows me to kind of have my elbow here. So that if they do stumble, they do fall, I'm able to go whoop, do that arm curl here, and I've got more stability, I've got more pull. If I try to reach this way and I grab from up here, if they stumble, if they fall, I'm trying to pull upwards this way. I feel like I don't have as much strength, but also I don't have as good of a grip. My fingers may actually slide out from under this gait belt and they may still fall. So if I put my hand and my fingers under here and I hold like this, I have a much more sturdy grip and grasp, so that if they do stumble, if they do fall, I'm able to give them that support that they need. But what I like to do personally is kind of stand to the side of them a little bit. Now, if they need a lot more support, I may have them stand right in front of me so I can walk behind them and kind of help them with their steps, kind of guide them. Okay, I've still got my hold on the gait belt, but if they're a little more sturdy, they're able to walk kind of by themselves, I like to kind of stand on the side. Now, another situation you may be in is if somebody needs a lot of assistance. So you may be maybe in like some parallel bars, okay? So again, that's a perfect situation where you might be behind them holding onto a gait belt. You also may be in front of them in those parallel bars. Say they're holding onto those parallel bars, you're holding onto the gait belt in the front, and you're helping them with their steps walking forward. So depending on how much assistance your patient or your family member or caregiver, whoever you're taking care of needs, that's going to depend on really where you're going to kind of stand and hold onto them. But you'll kind of figure that out as you go, especially for you clinicians. The more you do this, the more you'll learn. But let me show you how you can use this to help get somebody up out of a chair. So we've got Mr. Cow in his chair here. I already have my gait belt on. Again, it's really snug. I snugged it up really good so that when I go to pull on the gait belt, it doesn't slide up under his arms, because that's going to be uncomfortable, one, for him, but two, that's going to make it a lot more difficult for me to actually be able to get the leverage that I need to get him up. Now, again, just like we talked about with our walking, if you're going to have You're probably going to have a different stance depending on how much assistance this person needs for you to get them up. So let's say this person needs a lot of help. They really struggle to get up by themselves. It's really hard for them. You have to help them a lot. A lot of times the easiest way is to stand right in front of them. Always remember good posture, keep your core strong, or you may hurt yourself, right? But stand in front of them. Again, we're doing that hand under, palm under the gait belt here, okay? And we go 1, 2, 3, and we lift up, right? Again, you saw how my gait belt stayed put. It didn't come up under Mr. Cow's arms, because if it did, then instead of pulling from his heaviest part, his lowest part where I can get leverage, I'm trying to pull from his arms, and it just doesn't work as well, right? So we want that gait belt to stay low, and we want it to be snug. Now, let's say that this patient, this individual, this person that we care about, this person that we're taking care of, doesn't really need a whole lot of help. They need a little bit, but not a ton. They can do a lot of the work themselves. Or say they have a walker in front of them, and once they get up and they get on their feet, they're able to grab a walker and start walking, right? So I'm probably going to stand to the side here because they don't need me in the front to pick them up. So I'm going to stand to the side. Again, I'm going to have that hand under my gait belt, and I'm going to kind of grab steel at the back here, just like we did when we were walking. And I'm going to pull from the back, where I'm going to, if I need to, I can even, grab a little arm and shoulder, not really pull, because I don't want to pull from a shoulder because I can injure someone's arm. I can injure their shoulder, right? But give that little extra support here under the arm. Or I can hold on to their walker. Make sure that their walker stays still while they stand up, and then they grab it, okay? Or I can grab at the back, and I can grab at the front. And I can help 1, 2, 3, and we stand up this way. Now, let's say that you're helping Mr. Cow get in the bed. You help get him on the bed. You help him lay down. Now you have to help him kind of move and scoot to get into the center of the bed. You can still use this gait belt to help you pull. Now, of course, in perfect circumstances, you would have like a draw sheet or something like that on the bed that would help you as well. But you can still use the gait belt in the same position to kind of help you pull and scoot your family member, your caregiver, the patient that you're taking care of, whatever, in the bed, help them scoot just a little bit. So as you can see, gait belts can be super, super useful when you're helping someone get around and move around and stay safe and be mobile, but also while making sure that you don't injure or hurt yourself while you're trying to help them. So gait belts are wonderful, amazing tools, but you have to make sure that you use them correctly, again, or you may possibly injure whoever you're taking care of or injure yourself. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it gave you a ton of information. If you have any questions, let me know. Leave them in the comments. If you like this video, give me a like, give me a subscribe, give me a follow, and I will see you guys on the next one. Y'all have a great day. Bye.